What is up, guys? It is Noob Killer Mike here, and welcome back to yet another 2-Minute Tuesdays. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do the zoom transition in Premiere Pro. So, with that being said, let's get right to the computer. Alright guys, so once you have Premiere open, the first thing that you're going to want to do is obviously add your clips to the timeline. These are just a few random clips that I have stored on my computer that I figured would be good to use in this example. Now the next step you're going to want to do is go down here to New Item and go to Add Adjustment Layer. Make sure it matches your sequence settings so that way it's a nice smooth transition and nothing ends up getting all chopped up. So now what you're going to want to do is add it in between two clips, the cut of two clips, and then what you're going to want to do is press Alt and then click onto the adjustment layer and drag a new one on top of it. Now usually what I like to do here is I'll snap to the center of the cut and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames to the left, and then I'll do the same thing on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just chop those down just like that. Now to make it easier to work on, obviously you can zoom all the way in so that way you can see it frame by frame. But now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the bottom adjustment layer and drag it so that way it starts right at the cut. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is head over to the effects panel and type in replicate. You're going to want to get the replicate filter. It should be under the stylized folder, and just click and drag that onto the bottom adjustment layer. Now what that's going to do is it's going to make the frame have 4 of the video clips, but you're going to want to go over here into your effect controls panel and change that to 3. So what that's going to do is when your zoom transition is happening, it's going to zoom into this center frame right here. Now in order to do that, we need to make sure everything is symmetrical and there aren't any harsh lines like you see right here. Now the next step you're going to want to do is type in mirror into the effects tab over here, and it should be under the distort folder in your video effects. You're just going to click and drag the mirror effect right onto that bottom adjustment layer. And now what you're going to want to do is change the reflection angle to 90 degrees and then have it so that way you're going to want to go to reflection center, and you're going to want it to be 1920 by 718. So as you guys can see, what that did was it removed this bottom line right here. So now it's just a continuous frame. It doesn't look like it ends or anything like that. Now for the next one, you're going to want to add the mirror preset, the mirror effect again, and change the reflection center to 1920 by 360, and then change the reflection angle to -90, and that's going to do the same thing on the top. Now you're going to want to add this 2 more times, changing the reflection center to 639 by 540, and then change the reflection angle to 180 degrees. Now what that's going to do is it's going to get rid of that vertical line right here. You're going to want to add the mirror effect one last time to that bottom adjustment layer and change the reflection center to 1276 by 540, and then change the reflection angle to 360 degrees. Now with that being done, we've removed all of the lines, we've blurred them all out. Now the next step is you're going to want to add a transform effect onto the top adjustment layer. Now you're going to want to come here and go all the way to the beginning of the adjustment layer. You want to make sure uniform scale is checked. You're going to want to press this little timer right here to toggle animation, so that way it'll set a keyframe right at the beginning of the adjustment layer and go all the way to the end of the adjustment layer and change that to 300. Now to make this effect a little bit more harsh and add more blur to it, you can uncheck use composition shutter angle and change that all the way up to 360 degrees. Now the shutter angle will determine how much blur is in your transition, so you can go all the way up to 360 if you want a very extreme look, or you can tone it down if you want a more simplistic, not as harsh look. Now, because this is an effect, you're going to want to set your ins and out points to the adjustment layer and just render out the effects so that way you can be able to preview it in Premiere. Now that it's done rendering out, we can watch it over just to make sure everything's all good. And as you can see, it seems pretty good. Now, if you guys are going to be adding this to multiple different cuts, what you can do instead of having to do all that stuff over and over again is to select both of the adjustment layers and press Alt and click and drag so that way that bottom adjustment layer is at the center of your next clip, and you'll be able to do this repeatedly, having the zoom of transition on multiple different clips. Now, a quick tip to make this transition go a lot faster. What I've done is I have some presets already set up so that way if I want a certain one, I can just kind of click and drag. So for instance, I have the transform preset, and that automatically sets my keyframes on the beginning and end of the adjustment layer so that way it can just zoom in and I don't have to set them. I also have the replicate and the mirror preset right up here. So that's pretty much the end of the computer portion of this. Let's head back to the camera. Hopefully that was easy enough to follow. If it isn't, make sure to drop any of your questions down below in the description and I will make sure to answer them for you guys, hopefully in a timely manner. I'm usually good about answering comments and stuff like that. But with that being said, this is the first video recorded in 2018. It is literally 12, what time is it?
12:24.
It is 12:24.
8:25.
What?
25.
It is 12:25, January 1st, 2018. Just to show you guys how on the grind I am, I'm literally recording this right after New Year's, starting off 2018 right on the YouTube grind. Hopefully this will be the year we make 1,000 subscribers and just keep on growing after that. We are almost there. We literally have like, what is it, 160 subscribers left or something like crazy like that. Such a small amount. We've come such a long way. I will be doing a similar type of video each week for the next few weeks, doing different types of Premiere Pro transitions. I know that is a popular topic in the whole videography scene here on YouTube, people wanting to find ways to spice up their videos. So hopefully I can help you guys do that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And always remember to just stay killing them.